All righty, we call this meeting to order here. City Council invocation will be by Ward 10, Steve Keel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. If you bear with me for a minute. As I look around the room, I see a lot of new faces, a lot of familiar faces in new roles. We have a new mayor, 6 new council members, a new police chief, a new CFO, superintendent of Parks and Rec, and soon to have a new city clerk. Reflecting on this, I kind of thumbed through the book of Proverbs over the weekend because Granny always said that's where you get the best advice. So I found 2 that I think fits with the decisions that we're going to be making in the next couple of months. And overall, just some good advice for all of us. So I'm going to have 2, so bear with me. I said, so Proverbs 12:15 says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he who heeds counsel is wise. And I think, that tells us that not one of us knows everything, but if we surround ourselves with some smart people and ask a few questions, we'll be okay. And this one, as we kind of head into budgets, was Proverbs 21:5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. So be sure we're making good plans. So with that being said, if everybody would just bow your head on a quick prayer. Lord, we come to you tonight asking for your guidance for our mayor, this council, our new Chief Newby, new CFO, Melissa, Toby over at Parks and Rec, and whoever our new city clerk is. Just please be sure we heed your words in Proverbs, that we make good plans and listen to those around us that are maybe a little smarter than we are. And we ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. I get everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, Miss Chrissy, will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Francis. Here. Councilmember Smiley.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Craig.
Here.
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Here.
Councilmember Meek.
Here.
Councilmember Lineberger.
Here.
Councilmember Keel.
Here.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
And Councilmember Handy.
Present.
All right, Mayor, everyone's here tonight.
All righty, thank you. Awards and recognitions. Our mayor for the day, Mr. Dayton Harris, is not feeling well. The reason he's not here tonight, he will be here with us the next council meeting. So he will be here. I'm sorry that he was a lot of fun to be with. He kept the police department and the fire department very busy. And he also had a great time at the Parks and Rec and over at the Sportsplex, and had a lot of fun there. But moving on from that, public comments. We have anyone here wants to have public comments? Please state your name and address. Any public comments? All righty, we're moving right along to mayor's comments. All right, short and sweet. I'd like to ask everyone to please be patient with us on the debris removal. Mike Perry with Public Works and Mr. Richard Harper out at the sanitation department are working. They working 6 days a week with us right now, and it does not look like we're making a dent in it at all. The things being is what we're cleaning up on Monday is back on the street on Tuesday out of the backyards and things like that. So please give us a little time. Mike is working with some public and private contractors working on that, and we're moving forward on that. And my hat's off to Public Works. They have been working very diligently with their employees, and my hat's off to them for all they're doing for us on that. We have Touch a Truck coming up on in May, the 7th annual on the 13th, and we're hoping everybody has a good time with that. Movies in the Park on the 26th at Depot Park, and that's all I have on mayor's comments. And we move to reports and committees and guest speakers, and that'd be Robert Martin. Come on down.
Well, you all may have thought you've gotten rid of me, but I'm back for a little while.
No, I got you to August.
But tonight I am giving the annual Police and Firemen's Pension Fund report for the new council members. This is a report that I am required to present to you on an annual basis. Just a little information about a Police and Firemen's Pension Fund. That was the pension fund for our public safety employees before we joined the Kentucky retirement system. And at the time we joined the Kentucky retirement system, the current employees who were in the fund had the option to go over to Kentucky retirement or stay in the fund that they were in. And we are required to fund that annually through the budget process. When I first came to work here 20 years ago, we had almost 40 members in the fund. We now have 11 members. There are 5 retirees and 6 surviving spouses. And right now, the fund has right now, as of December 31st, the fund had a market value of $1,038,524. And we made a $235,000 contribution. That was what was budgeted in this year's budget to the fund. We do that on an annual basis. We normally do it either near the end of January or 1st of February that we make that transfer over from the general fund to the Police Fireman's Pension Fund. Planners Bank is our trustee. They invest the funds to draw interest and dividends. They also pay the employees on a monthly basis. I said employees, the participants in the fund. If they want taxes taken out, they take out the taxes, and Planners Bank remits those to either the federal government or the state of Kentucky. Also, at the end of the year, Planners issues them a 1099-R for tax purposes. Currently, the fund is paying out annual benefits of $183,000. The Board of Trustees will be meeting in June to discuss the COLA increase for next year, and that more than likely will be a 5%, which is the maximum amount allowed by KRS. I've attached to my report that's in your package the summary of activity for the fund for the entire year of 22, and then also all the assets, the investments in the fund as of December 31st, their original cost basis and their fair market value. So I'd be happy to address any questions you might have.
Any questions for Robert? Going once. I believe we got it, Mr. Martin.
Okay, thank
Thank
you
you
very
very
much.
much, Robert. All righty. Approval of minutes.
So be it.
Second.
All righty, got it. Miss Natasha and Amy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All righty, moving right along. Number 10, ordinances. Ordinance 09-2023, alley closing between College and Sharp Street.
An ordinance closing an unnamed alley between College and Sharp Streets in the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Summary, now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 82.405, this section identifies the property owners abutting the portions of the alley to be closed as WB Properties, SE, LLC, and the Hopkinsville and Christian County Land Bank Authority. It further acknowledges the abutting property owners were given written notice of the proposed closing, and the property owners gave written notarized consent to the alley closing. A copy of the consents is attached to the full text of the ordinance as Exhibit A and incorporated therein by reference. Section 2, this section states the 10-foot wide alley extending 147 feet southeast from College Street and 160 feet southwest from Sharp Street, consisting of approximately 3,070 square feet, is hereby forever closed as a public way. A copy of Exhibit B, more particularly describing the alley to be closed, is attached here too. This section further lists restrictions and/or conditions under which the alley is to be closed. The full text of this ordinance is on file in the office of the undersigned city clerk of the city of Hopkinsville at 715 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where it is available for public inspection between the hours of 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. Good
So
motion.
moved.
Got a motion, Steve Keel, who's second?
Second.
Amy, Jamie? All right. Any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Craig.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
Councilmember Meek.
Yes.
Councilmember Lineberger.
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
Councilmember Handy.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Yes.
That passes unanimously on second reading.
All righty, ordinance B 10-2023, Small Business Commission, first reading.
An ordinance establishing the Hopkinsville Small Business Commission, whereas small businesses located within the city are an important part of the economic development of the community, and whereas it is in the best interest of the city to receive input from small businesses on strategic policies and incentives with the result of strengthening, promoting, and accelerating the growth of small businesses within the city, and whereas there is a need to create an organization to provide input and resources for small businesses located within the city of Hopkinsville. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Establishment. The Hopkinsville Small Business Commission is hereby created as an agency of the City of Hopkinsville. Membership. The commission shall be composed of 13 voting members, which shall be appointed by the mayor, subject to City Council approval. The mayor shall designate the initial chairperson of the commission. Each member shall be a current small business owner within the City of Hopkinsville with a current and valid city business license. For purposes of this section, small business is defined as a sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or other small business or other business entity with less than 100 employees. In addition to the appointed members of the commission shall also include a designee of the Hopkinsville Christian County Chamber of Commerce who will serve as an ex officio non-voting member. The initial appointment of commission members shall be for the following terms: 5 members for 4 years, 4 members for 3 years, 4 members for 2 years, and all subsequent appointments shall be for 2 years. The commission shall meet on a regular basis, at least quarterly, with additional meetings upon the call of the chairman or vice chairman as needed. All meetings shall be held in accordance with the requirements of the Kentucky Open Meetings Act. The meetings shall be facilitated by city administration within the discretion of the mayor and city administrative officer. 7 commission members shall constitute a quorum for the transaction of business. In the event any commission member has more than 3 absences within 1 calendar year, said member may be removed and a replacement appointed to fill the unexpired term in the discretion of the mayor. The commission members shall serve without compensation, and the commission shall have no employees. The commission shall advise the mayor and city council with regard to strategic policies and incentives with the goal to strengthen, promote, and accelerate the growth of small businesses within the city. The commission may be assigned tasks and projects by the mayor in the mayor's discretion. If any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portion of this ordinance. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed, and this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law.
So be it.
I got Natasha and who?
Bruce.
Bruce, all righty. All righty. Any discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Craig.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
Councilmember Meek. Councilmember Lineberger.
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
Councilmember Handy.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Yes.
All right, Mayor, that passes unanimously on first reading.
All righty. Ordinance C 11-2023, Donna Drive, always stop signs.
Establish always stops on Donna Drive. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 189.337 and Section 70.03A of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Hopkinsville City Council hereby authorizes the installation of stop signs on Donna Drive at both intersections with Mark Drive and the installation of stop signs on Donna Drive at its intersection with Sheila Drive. If any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed, and this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication and the posting of appropriate signage by the Public Works Department.
So be it.
Natasha, who need a second?
Second.
Jamie, all right. Any questions? Seeing none, will the clerk call the roll?
Councilmember Craig.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
Councilmember Meek.
Yes.
Councilmember Lineberger.
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
Councilmember Handy.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Yes.
All right, Mayor, that ordinance passes unanimously on first reading.
All righty, ordinance D, 12-2023, Sibley Road and Sheridan Circle, always stop signs.
Establish always stops on Sibley Road and Sheridan Circle. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky as follows. Pursuant to KRS 189.337 and Section 70.03A of the Hopkinsville Code of Ordinances, Hopkinsville City Council hereby authorizes the installation of stop signs on Sibley Road at its intersections with Sheridan Circle and South Sheridan Circle, and the installation of stop signs on Sheridan Circle at its intersection with Early Drive. If any section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance is held unconstitutional or otherwise invalid, such infirmity shall not affect the validity of the remaining portions of this ordinance. All ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed, and this ordinance shall take effect after its passage and publication according to law and upon posting of appropriate signage by the Public Works Department.
All righty. Anyone in favor? Ms. Natasha
Second.
and Ms. Amy? All righty, any question, discussion? Seeing none, we'll call on the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Craig.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilcox.
Yes.
Councilmember Meek. Councilmember Lineberger.
Yes.
Councilmember Keel.
Yes.
Councilmember Bell.
Yes.
Councilmember Handy.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Aye.
Councilmember Smiley.
Yes.
Councilmember Marsh.
Yes.
And Councilmember Crabtree.
Yes.
All right, Mayor, that ordinance passes unanimously on first reading.
All righty, item 11, municipal order 2023, MDM, MEDI property, LLC incentives.
A municipal order establishing a downtown development incentive district authorizing and directing the retention of up to 1/2 of all occupational license fees due and payable to the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky from the salaries, wages, and other compensation to be paid to the new employees in said incentive district for a period of 10 years, and further authorizing and directing the retention of 80% of any increase in ad valorem taxes due and payable to the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky on real property owned by MDM MED Properties LLC for a period of 15 years. Whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky is authorized to levy and impose an annual license fee upon all persons, associations, corporations, or other entities engaged in any occupation, trade, profession, or other activity in the city for the privilege of engaging in such occupation, trade, profession, or activity. And whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky is authorized to levy and impose ad valorem taxes on all real property located within the city. And whereas the City of Hopkinsville, Kentucky approved a downtown development incentive policy on September 4th, 2018 pursuant to Municipal Order 28, 2018. And whereas MDM MED Properties LLC has proposed to develop property located at 202-204 East 7th Street, formerly 602 South Virginia Street, Hopkinsville, Kentucky. And whereas MDM MED Properties LLC estimates an investment of $425,000 in said development, and whereas said development will promote economic development, will provide much-needed downtown retail property in Hopkinsville, Christian County, and will provide additional revenue to the city through the collection of occupational license fees and ad valorem tax revenue. And whereas as an incentive to support MDM MED Properties LLC in said development, the city hereby agrees to authorize MDM MED Properties LLC and or its assigns to retain through a rebate 50% of the total occupational license fee revenues otherwise derived by the city from salaries, wages, and other compensation paid to new employees in the development district for a period of 10 years after commencement. And whereas as an additional incentive and an inducement for MDM MED Properties LLC under its assigns to develop the property and create jobs in Hopkinsville, the city hereby agrees to authorize the developer and or its assigns to retain through a rebate 80% of any increase in ad valorem tax revenue otherwise derived by the city from any increased assessment of the real property owned by developer located within the district located at 202-204 East 7th Street, formerly 602 South Virginia Street, within the city for a period of 15 years after commencement. And whereas the development of the property increases the net profits and occupational license fee revenues and enhances overall economic prosperity in the community. Now therefore be it ordered as follows. There is hereby established for the purpose of calculating and rebating occupational license fees, a downtown development incentive district hereinafter referred to as the 202-204 East 7th Street, formerly 602 South Virginia Street, the boundaries of which are the existing real estate located at said business. The city of Hopkinsville, Kentucky hereby authorizes a rebate of 50% of the occupational license fees imposed and levied upon wages, salaries, or other compensation paid in the incentive district to new employees for a period of 10 years from the commencement of said rebate. Said rebate shall be paid to MDM, MED Properties, LLC, and/or its assigns. And whereas the City Council of Hopkinsville further states that the occupational license fee rebates referenced above shall not apply to any employees transferring from existing positions located within the City of Hopkinsville, and the retention and rebate of occupational license fees authorized and directed herein shall not apply to other income or net profits of MDM, MED Properties, LLC, or any other entities within the incentive district, and only applies to occupational license fees on wages, salaries, or other compensation paid to new employees in newly created positions in said district. The City Council of Hopkinsville further authorizes MDM, MED Properties, LLC, and/or its assigns to retain through a rebate 80% of any increase in ad valorem tax revenue otherwise derived by the city resulting from any increased assessment after January 1, 2023 of any real property owned by a developer and located within the incentive district for a period of 15 years. The City Council of Hopkinsville further states that the retention and rebate of ad valorem taxes and/or occupational license fees as authorized and directed herein shall commence upon written notification from developer to activate said incentives within 12 months of the execution of this municipal order, and shall not apply in the event developer fails to develop within the incentive district within 24 months of the execution of this municipal order, fails to comply with local, state, or federal laws, or otherwise fails to comply with the terms hereof.
So be it.
Second,
All righty. We got Amy's the second. Who was the first one?
Natasha.
Natasha. All right. All right. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Municipal Order 21, 2023, Trail of Tears Community Park Tree Trimming.
Whereas the Hopkinsville Christian County Airport Board has requested the trimming and/or cutting of trees on land owned by the city of Hopkinsville known as the Trail of Tears Commemorative Park, and whereas the Federal Aviation Administration has certain regulations pertaining to the height of trees in the vicinity of the airport, and whereas the city, county, and representatives of the Trail of Tears Commission are in agreement to trim and/or cut trees located on city property at Trail of Tears Commemorative Park so long as said cutting is conducted in a minimally invasive manner and approved by the city. Now therefore, Hopkinsville City Council authorizes the trimming and/or cutting of trees on city property at Trail of Tears Commemorative Park. Said trimming and/or cutting shall be conducted in the least invasive manner possible with the intent of retaining trees and tree growth while complying with FAA guidelines. The city public works director shall approve the trimming and/or cutting of said trees prior to the cutting of same.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Got
Second.
Travis and Steve. All right. Everybody jump up here.
I was waiting for it to keep going.
All right, any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, UK ball game must be on. All righty, municipal order 22-2023, FY 23-24 Community Development Block Grant.
Pursuant to Municipal Order 1691, the City Council of Hopkinsville authorizes the mayor or his designee to expend the anticipated community development block grant funds available for 23-24 of $263,110 as follows: CDBG program administration costs, general grant management, oversight and coordination, planning and policy planning, management capacity building activities, $52,622. Walnut Street Center Boys and Girls Club Public Service Funding, $39,466. Rehabilitation programs, Hopkinsville Home Improvement Program, $65,225.25. Rehabilitation Program Administration, $10,618. for a total of $75,843.25. Section 108 loan debt service, $95,178.75. Total CDBG dollars, $263,110. This is to authorize the mayor on behalf of the city to enter into and execute contracts between the city and Community and Development Services for the management and administration of the Community Development Block Grant Program. This is to authorize the mayor or his designee to act on behalf of the city and city council to submit the 23-24 annual action plan, all understandings and assurances, and to provide such additional information as may be required. Further, that the mayor or his designee as approved under KRS 83A and 24 CFR 91.105 shall have full authority to act as the official representative of the grantee insofar as community development block grant funds are concerned.
So moved.
Jamie, who else over here?
Steve.
Steve, all right, moving right along. Got a first and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, seeing none, that passes. Item D, municipal order 23-2023, legislative travel policy.
Whereas Hopkinsville City Council annually funds the legislative travel budget through adoption of the budget ordinance, and whereas City Council desires to adopt a policy related to use of legislative travel funds, now therefore be it ordered, Hopkinsville City Council hereby adopts the below policy related to legislative travel expenses. The amount annually budgeted shall be divided equally among all 12 legislative body members. Budgeted funds shall only be used to attend conferences and training related to the duties of a council member. Any exception must be approved by the mayor or city administrative officer. Any and all travel-related expenditures must be in compliance with the city's employee policies and procedures handbook and the financial handbook. Funds shall not be transferred from one legislative body member to another, and the finance division shall track expenses.
So moved.
Second.
We got Jamie and Travis. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, executive order 32-2023, police and fireman pension fund board trustees.
Effective immediately, Fire Chief Steve Futrell shall be reappointed, and Police Chief Jason Newby shall be appointed to the Policemen's and Firemen's Pension Fund Board of Trustees. These terms shall expire June 30, 2024. No action is needed.
All righty, moving on to other. Any other business? All righty, I got one thing I slipped up and messed up on. I'd like to let the council know Miss Diane Turner did start on Monday, yesterday, as the new administrative coordinator. She's got her hands full. She's drinking from a fire hose today instead of me. And Troy's keeping her pretty busy with what she's doing on that. And one other little thing under other Bluegrass Splash, we'll plan the way it moves. We will be opening on Labor Day. All righty. Any other?
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day. Okay.
Oh.
I got Labor Day on mine.
Hope that wasn't a slip.
We'll leave it
That's
closed
Nikki's
then.
fault, not mine.
It's in September.
All right. Item 14, councilman comments. Any comments from council? All righty, Councilman Keel, we're back to you.
All right. Back to me for the adjournment. Got a little thing I want to read from one of my person in history that I really admire a lot is Theodore Roosevelt. And I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Man in the Arena, but it's one of my favorites, my go-tos. It's hanging on my wall at home, so I'm just going to share it with everybody tonight. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who never knew victory nor defeat. With that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion, Travis. And we are adjourned. Thank you.
You too?